Ever found yourself watching NFL transactions and wondering what really goes on behind the scenes? Like, how do teams actually decide, when it's time to move on from a player, especially a former high draft pick?
Yeah.
Maybe someone's still on their rookie deal?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a strategic chess match. Always weighing like present value against what might happen down the road, future potential.
Mm-hmm.
And today, we're diving deep into a really fascinating example of exactly that.
That's right. Today, our deep dive is all about the buzz surrounding the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's this surprising recommendation floating around that they should trade a pretty key player, former first-round running back Travis Etienne.
Mm-hmm.
We're pulling insights mainly from a Yardbarker piece, which originally came from Last Word on Sports by David Latham. And that piece actually highlights Matt Holder's argument over at Bleacher Report.
Right. Holder makes the case for the trade.
Exactly. So our mission today, let's unpack the reasons behind this pretty bold recommendation. We'll dig into the factors making Etienne a trade candidate, look at who might want him, and, the impact he could have somewhere else. Okay, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So Travis Etienne, first-round pick out of Clemson, name most fans know.
Yeah.
Now, he's heading into the final year of his rookie contract.
Yeah.
What's the significance of that timing, the whole pre-camp window? And, how unusual is it for a player with that draft status to be talked about like this early?
Well, that pre-camp timing is pretty crucial, actually. It lets a team make a move before his value might dip even more during the season or, before they just lose him for nothing next year in free agency. And yeah, for a former first-round pick, it does feel a bit unusual on the surface, but it really signals, I think, a broader shift in thinking across the league. Like, even high draft capital doesn't automatically guarantee you'll play out your whole rookie contract if the performance isn't there or the roster dynamics change. It's a pretty stark reminder of the evolving economics in the NFL, especially for running backs.
That makes a lot of sense, that shift, especially when you look at Etienne's numbers recently. The article calls his 2024 season disappointing.
Yeah.
And the stats got to back that up, bro. 15 games, just 558 yards, only 2 touchdowns on 150 carries. That's, 3.7 yards per carry?
Yeah.
Which is unimpressive.
Yeah, unimpressive is a good word for it. For a former first-rounder, those just aren't the numbers you expect to see.
No.
No, they're not. And what makes it even more telling is the team's internal situation, how that kind of compounds the performance issue. Like you mentioned, the article points out Tank Bigsby is apparently looking like the better back.
Right.
Plus, you've got a new coaching staff in Jacksonville, and they just spent a 4th-round pick on Bashal Tutin.
Oh, right. The rookie.
Exactly. So this isn't just about Etienne's individual stats anymore. It feels like a clear reevaluation of that whole running back room, the direction they want to take it.
Okay, so Bigsby's looking better. They drafted Tutin.
Yeah.
What's the strategic thinking then for the Jags? How does Matt Holder, the guy from Bleacher Report, frame this?
Holder basically lays it out as just a smart investment in the team's future. He puts it pretty directly. Let me see. The quote is, Tank Bigsby was the Jaguars' leading rusher last year, and the organization spent a 4th-round pick on Bashal Tutin during the draft. Quote, that signals Etienne's time in Jacksonville is nearing an end, especially since he's entering a contract year.
Mm-hmm.
Given the offense's depth at running back, getting something in return for a player who likely doesn't have much of a future with the team would be a smart investment.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it really just highlights how quickly the NFL can move on, even from, top-tier draft picks if the production dips or new guys step up.
And the article suggests the return wouldn't even be that big, maybe a late-round pick.
Yeah.
That says a lot about how running backs are valued or maybe devalued across the league, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's just about getting any kind of return you can before he possibly leaves for nothing.
Precisely. It's like avoiding that sunk cost fallacy, right? The first-round pick investment, well, that's already spent. It's gone. Now it's about optimizing your future assets, even if the return seems kind of modest on the surface.
Okay, so if the Jaguars do decide to pull the trigger, where might he land? Who needs a guy like Etienne, that dual threat capability?
Yeah.
The article throws out a few interesting names, starting with the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs. Always in the mix, it seems.
Their running back room sounds less than ideal in the article. What makes Etienne a potential fit there?
Well, the piece describes their running back room as one of the weakest in the NFL, which is, maybe a bit strong, but directionally. They have Isaiah Pacheco, who's called a fine north-south runner, but the knock is he's not a natural pass catcher and doesn't do a ton in the receiving game.
Right, different skill set.
Exactly. And the rest of the depth chart, it's described as unproven youngsters and washed-up veterans. So not a lot of proven depth there.
Right.
And we'd all know Andy Reid loves scheming targets for his running backs. He hasn't really had that explosive pass-catching threat out of the backfield since maybe Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, good point.
So bringing in Etienne could give the Chiefs that dangerous threat in the short part of the field. It adds a whole different dimension, could help, open up this passing attack even more for Mahomes.
That would be another weapon for Mahomes, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another team mentioned is the Buffalo Bills. What's their situation? What's the need Etienne fills there?
Their situation seems to hinge more on James Cook's contract status. The article notes he still doesn't have a contract, raising concerns about a potential holdout.
Ah, okay. Leverage?
Could be. And their fourth-round pick, Ray Davis, apparently isn't ready to start. So there's an immediate depth concern. But even if Cook signs and comes back, Etienne could help secure the running back position for a team that definitely has Super Bowl dreams.
So more like insurance and high-level depth.
Yeah, exactly. The piece does say Etienne isn't quite as good as Cook, but he can start if needed, and definitely support Josh Allen, both through the air and on the ground. Just vital depth and reliability for a contender.
Makes sense for a team like Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay, lastly, a more conditional one. The Los Angeles Chargers. This depends, according to the article, on Najee Harris's eye injury. What's the deal there?
Yeah, this one's got a bit of an asterisk. Most reports are saying Harris's injury is minor. He'll just miss a bit at practice. But apparently, Mike Florio over at Pro Football Talk sent out a cryptic tweet suggesting Harris might miss the whole season.
Whoa, okay. That'd be huge.
Yeah, the article calls that scenario disastrous for the Chargers, especially with Jim Harbaugh there now, who, really believes in running the football.
Right, his whole philosophy.
Exactly. So if Harris was out long-term, their first-round pick, Omarion Hampton, would obviously become the unquestioned starter. But trading for Etienne would give them that reliable backup that should still see a decent workload.
Insurance again, basically.
Pretty much. For Harbaugh's run-heavy approach, he'd be a really important insurance policy. A capable guy, even as the number 2. It's a contingency plan, but yeah, one that makes a lot of sense if things go south with Harris.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. What's the big picture takeaway here for the Jags and maybe for the league? We've heard the arguments for Jacksonville trading Etienne, his performance, the other backs on the roster, the contract year, just getting something back.
Right.
And we've looked at how, even coming off a down year, a guy like him could still be valuable for contenders like the Chiefs or Bills, or maybe a run-focused team like the Chargers, depending on injuries.
Yeah, I think this case really just highlights the sometimes ruthless efficiency of NFL roster building. It's not always just about pure talent. It's about value. It's about contract status. It's about timing and that immediate need to, optimize your draft capital and assets. Etienne, even with that first-round pedigree, kind of becomes a commodity here, doesn't he? Something to be potentially leveraged for future assets.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? In today's NFL, where teams are so focused on draft capital and managing contracts super tightly, how fast do expectations shift for these high draft pick running backs? And what does that really tell us about the maybe the short shelf life of talent at that specific position? What stands out to you when you see a scenario like this, a player potentially being traded before his rookie deal is even done?